Solve for x. So we have two problems here. X minus 8 equals 16, and the other problem is 12 equals 22 minus x. So again, what we want to do with each of these problems is end all our working with the variable, which is x, equaling whatever value we end up with. That could be positive, could be negative, could be decimal, whatever. Okay, so let's try and get to that point. Now it's important to note that when we do all this, we have to show clear working and clear steps so that it's obvious and clear how we get to our final answer. Okay, so let's start off. At the moment, x minus 8, right, so the left-hand side is totally equal to the right-hand side. So the whole equation is balanced at the moment. So that's important to remember, because whatever we do in our working to one side of the equation, we must do to the other. And that means that the whole equation stays balanced throughout all our working. So let's get into it. Here we want to isolate the x, and the terms we have on the left is x and minus 8. And on the right, we only have positive 16. So what do? Well, we have x on this side. We want to end with x. So let's get rid of the other term that's there, which is minus 8. We do that by doing the inverse, or the opposite. So we add 8. And again, remember, we do it to both sides of the equation. So what this means is minus 8 plus 8 ends at 0, right? So that cancels out. What's left on the left-hand side is the variable x. And on the right-hand side, it's 16 plus 8, which is 24. And this should be our answer, x equals 24. We should always check. It's a good habit to be in. And what we do is we just substitute into the original equation. So it works like this. We think that x is 24, right? So instead of x, we write 24. And then we see if it works. So 24 minus 8 equals 16. Is that true? Yes, it is. So this is correct, and our working is also correct. On this one over here, what terms do we have, guys? Well, we have minus x, positive 22, and on the left-hand side, we have positive 12. So let's get rid of the positive 22 so that we're left with an x. Even though it's a minus x, it's better than not having an x at all, right? So we're going to minus 22, and we're minus 22 on the other side as well. That cancels each other out. So what are we left with? Well, on the right-hand side, we're left with minus x. On the left-hand side, we're left with minus 10. Now, what we don't want is we don't want to be left with minus x. So what we do is we multiply by minus 1. So minus x times minus 1, that will give us x. And on this side, minus 10 times minus 1, that will give us 10. And just formatting our final answer, we always want our variable on the left and its value on the right. And so that should be the final answer, but let's substitute and just make sure so that we haven't made a silly mistake. Again, what is the value of x? Well, according to us, it's 10. So 12 equals 22 minus 10. Does 22 minus 10 equal 12? Yes, it does. Therefore, this is correct. Therefore, our working must be correct.